A rapper gets shot outside a casino. His known enemy gets arrested at the scene. And within hours, the internet has already written its own version of the story, one that involves Cardi B. On the night of April 6, 2026, Offset was shot in the valet area outside the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. He is alive, stable, and recovering. But the circumstances surrounding what happened, who was there, what the history between the people involved actually looks like, and the fan theory that spread faster than any official statement, make this story far more complicated than a single headline can hold. This video covers exactly what happened, what Lil Jay's presence at the scene actually means according to the people closest to him, and the Cardi B theory that tens of thousands of people are now treating as established fact. Stick around to the end, because the backstory between Offset and Lil Jay is the part that changes how everything else reads. First, what is actually confirmed? Because the facts and the rumors are already being mixed together across social media in ways that matter. Offset, whose real name is Kiari Kendrell Cephas, was shot after 7 p.m. on Monday, April 6th in the valet area outside the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida. The Seminole Police Department confirmed the incident and said one person was transported to Memorial Regional Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A spokesperson for Offset confirmed his identity as the victim and said he is stable and being closely monitored. Two people were detained at the scene. The investigation remains ongoing. No charges related to the shooting itself had been announced as of early Tuesday morning. That is what is confirmed. Now here is where it gets complicated. One of the two people detained at the scene was Lil Jay, real name Shoni Jaden Merritt, 24 years old. A rapper from the Bronx best known for his 2021 hit Calling My Phone, Broward County Jail Records show. Jay was booked on 2 charges, misdemeanor disorderly conduct affray, stemming from a fight that police say occurred before the shooting, and a separate traffic offense for operating a vehicle without a valid driver's license. He was held on a combined bond of $3,000. His attorney, Dawn Florio, moved quickly to distance him from the shooting itself. Her statement was unambiguous. Lil Jay has not been shot, nor has Lil Jay been charged with any shooting. Any reporting to the contrary is false. Police confirmed that the incident began as a fight before the shooting occurred. The second person detained at the scene has not been charged. No one has been publicly identified as the suspected shooter. The investigation is ongoing. So why does Lil Jay's presence at this particular casino on this particular night matter so much? Because of what happened between these two rappers in the 14 months before April 6th. The beef between Offset and Lil Jay became public in January 2025. During a Twitch livestream, Jay told his audience a story about encountering Offset at a casino, notably a casino, where he claimed Offset was in a panic state, asking strangers for Cash App payments because he had no money available. Jay said he lent Offset up to $10,000 that night to cover gambling losses, and that Offset had been avoiding him ever since, refusing to repay the money. He described Offset as broke, suggested he had a gambling addiction, and said he was only speaking out because Offset had responded aggressively to his private requests for repayment. Offset's public response was not a denial of the debt. It was a challenge. He went to Instagram and offered to fight Jay on a live stream, saying he would fly to New York to do it. In March 2025, Jay reignited things with an Instagram post showing off jewelry and mocking Offset in the caption, a reference to running off over lunch money that Offset saw and responded to with another fight challenge. Screenshots of private messages between the two circulated, showing Jay threatening to get physical and Offset firing back with language that made clear he was not treating the situation as something that would be resolved peacefully. The feud had been publicly active for over a year before April 6th. It was built around money, pride, and the particular combustibility of two people who both felt disrespected. And it ended, for now, with one of them in a hospital and the other in a jail booking photo. Whether those two facts are directly connected is what law enforcement is still determining. Jay's attorney says they are not. Police have not charged Jay with anything related to the shooting. But the timing, the location, and the history between the two men were always going to make the question unavoidable. Now here is the layer that took the story from rap beef to full internet event, the Cardi B theory. Offset and Cardi B have 3 children together. Their divorce proceedings became public and often contentious. with social media posts, accusations of harassment, and a running public commentary from both sides about the state of their co-parenting relationship. Cardi B is one of the most followed artists in the world. Offset's public image has been substantially shaped by his years as her husband and by the very public deterioration of that relationship. Within hours of the shooting news breaking, a theory began spreading across X, TikTok, and Instagram. The core claim, entirely unverified and denied by nobody because it comes from anonymous fans rather than identified sources, is that Offset staged or allowed the shooting to happen in order to generate sympathy from Cardi B. The theory points to the timing, to Offset's reported financial difficulties as described by Lil Jay, to his diminished public profile since the Migos era, and to his documented history of attempting public gestures to win back Cardi B's attention after previous separations. It is worth being clear about what this theory is and what it is not. It is not a report. It is not based on any identified source. No journalist has reported it. No law enforcement official has suggested it. It is a fan narrative that spread because it is emotionally satisfying in the specific way that celebrity drama theories tend to be. It connects several real pieces of information into a story that feels like it explains something, even though the connection between those pieces is entirely assumed. What is real? Offset and Cardi B are estranged. Offset has had a publicly difficult period since the group's split and Takeoff's death in 2022. Lil Jay publicly accused Offset of financial desperation at a casino. Offset was shot at a casino while Lil Jay was present. That sequence of facts is real. The interpretation that Offset orchestrated his own shooting to get sympathy from his ex-wife is not a fact. It is a story the internet told itself because the real story left enough gaps that something had to fill them. The actual story is already substantial enough without the theory. A rapper with a documented enemy was shot at the location type where their beef originally began, while that enemy was present and subsequently arrested for a related altercation. The motive for the shooting has not been established. The shooter has not been publicly identified. The investigation is ongoing and the full picture has not emerged. What has emerged is that Offset is recovering from a gunshot wound that could have been much worse. That Lil Jay was at the scene for reasons his legal team says had nothing to do with the shooting. And that a year of very public hostility between the two men has now collided with a real-world incident that neither of them will be able to simply post their way through. Offset was interacting with fans outside the casino and was seen smiling shortly before the incident. By the time the night was over, he was in Memorial Regional Hospital. His cousin Takeoff was fatally shot in Houston in November 2022 at the age of 28. The reminder that violence in this industry carries real and permanent consequences is one that should not need to be stated again. And yet here it is, again. He is stable. The investigation continues. Hit like and subscribe. Share it with someone who only saw the rumor. The facts in this story matter more than the theory.